I was 16 years old when I accidentally discovered a bank transfer. Not just any transfer, the amount was so large that at first I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. $500,000. My hands started shaking as I stared at the screen. My family had never seen that kind of money before. We struggled to pay rent. Sometimes we couldn't even afford groceries. So why? Was there $500,000 sitting in my father's bank account? Then I noticed the description line, and the words written there made my heart stop. Payment received. For Emily. Emily. That's my name. At first I convinced myself it had to be some kind of mistake, but deep down, a terrifying feeling started growing inside my chest. So that night, I asked my parents about it, and their reaction changed my life forever. They didn't panic, they didn't deny it, they didn't even look surprised. My father simply looked at me and said, "They can give you a better life than we ever could." That was the moment I realized something horrifying. My parents had sold me. My name is Emily, and I grew up in a family that was always struggling. Not the kind of struggling you see in movies, where people complain about not having the newest phone. I mean real struggling. Sometimes the electricity would suddenly shut off. Sometimes our refrigerator sat empty. Dinner could be nothing more than bread and tea. My father worked long hours in construction. He left before sunrise and came home after dark. His hands were always rough and tired. My mother cleaned houses for wealthy families. She came home exhausted every night. They argued about money constantly, but despite everything, I believed they loved me. I believed our family would always stay together. I was wrong. One evening, I came home from school, and immediately something felt strange. The lights were all on, the house was unusually clean, and my parents were sitting at the table with two strangers, a well-dressed man and a woman wearing expensive jewelry. They looked completely out of place in our small home. My mother smiled nervously. "Emily, come sit with us." Her voice sounded unnatural, like she was pretending everything was normal. I slowly walked toward the table. The man looked at me carefully, like he was examining something valuable. Then he smiled. "You're even more beautiful than your parents described." A chill ran down my spine. "Who are they?" I asked. My father cleared his throat. "They're family friends." But something felt wrong. They didn't look like friends. They looked like buyers. The woman leaned forward slightly. "We don't have children," she said softly, "and we've always wanted a daughter." I forced a polite smile. "That's nice." Then she looked at my parents and calmly said something shocking. "We've transferred the money." My heart skipped. "Money? Transferred?" My parents didn't react with shock. They simply nodded, like they had been expecting it. My stomach suddenly felt cold. "Money for what?" I asked. No one answered. Then my father looked directly at me. "Emily, these people are going to take care of you now." I laughed nervously. "What do you mean?" My mother grabbed my hand. Her eyes were watery, but she was smiling. "They can give you a better life." My brain struggled to understand. Better life? Then the man slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents, legal documents, adoption papers. But I was 16 years old, too old for a normal adoption. I looked back at my parents. "Is this a joke?" My father looked away. That was when I realized something terrifying. They were serious. "You sold me?" My mother shook her head quickly. "No, it's not like that," but the man calmly spoke. "We simply helped your parents with their financial difficulties." Financial difficulties. That was the polite way to say it. They had paid for me. My chest tightened. "How much?" I asked quietly. No one answered. So I shouted, "How much did you sell ME for?" Finally, my father spoke. "Enough to change our lives." Something inside me broke forever. People believe money can solve everything, but sometimes money destroys the very things that matter most. My parents thought they were giving me a better life. Maybe in some strange way they did. But one truth will always remain. A child should never feel like a transaction, because the moment love becomes something you can buy or sell, it stops being love at all. And that is the story of how my parents sold me. But it is also the story of how I refused to let that moment define my life.